we all know this video and the other post that Glitch posted. Well, actually, they said the episode will come out in May. We thought that the episode was gonna come out this week in February on the tomorrow, but we were wrong because Luke and the other creators of Glitch and Gooseworks are not that fast with animating. 3D animating is really hard. So when the next episode will be, that would be in May around, they said. And they said with the money they got off their episode, how many views it got, they said,
how can we support the production of this cool new show?
Great question, Pomni. All merch sales go right back into funding the show and allow us to do bigger and crazier things.
Wowee! I've become a pin if it meant getting sold to fund more wacky adventures.
That they're gonna upgrade the animation. So when we first got into the episode, it looked a little bit non-3D. It looked a little bit like 3D when you first begin, or like Murder Drones. And they talked about the farm content too, that they don't want the farm content to be, and the farm content toys, like those little fake plushies. And they talked about of the worlds. They will be doing mini games. They will be doing mini games as well as the Candy Kingdom and that stuff, and some soccer games or something. They'll be doing mini games to survive the day. And then, as always, they will have a buffet and they would go to sleep. But I think in the morning they would be eating, and they would get breakfast and that stuff, and then Kane would teleport them to do activities, right? That sounds it to me. And that the Sun said in the clip, Sun said,
"Hi, Kane! I'm gonna kill you!"
What? Why?
I read all the scripts and saw I don't get a single line of dialogue, while the moon gets 2.
I mean, I guess we could give you some more lines.
Okay, never mind. I don't want to kill you anymore.
But I think the Sun is gonna have a lot more lines too, and the moon is not gonna have 2 lines. But I don't know about that. But I think Bubble is gonna appear more in the episode 2, and that Kinger is with the shotgun. I think they're gonna do a game with that. And what you saw on the front of the Vinely record, I think they're gonna make that a background, or they're gonna revolve the circus. The circus is gonna get an update, and that the circus is gonna be refreshed. And we see also a hand pulling a string. That hand looks familiar, like Kane's. And we see a black chess piece right over there. That looks familiar to Queenie. These are just my thoughts about it. And that there's coming a new character, I don't know. But I think the next episode is gonna be about mini games. All mini games. And they said episodes will come out when they're ready, because, as I said, Glitch, Luke, and Gooseworks and the other programmers and the voice actors are not rushing. Because first, when the pilot came out, they were just waiting to see how much views it has. It's have over 100 million now. 100 million views. But if it had 10k views, or 50k views, or 100k or 1 million, they would just do nothing. They would think of making episode 2, but they would not really mean that. They would try to make an episode 2 if it got more views, because if it stayed like on 999k or something, they would figure out if they do an episode 2. But if it got like 50k, or like how much the Murder Drone episodes get, or like SMG4's videos, how much that gets, then actually they wouldn't really try making an episode 2. About what episode 2 is going out, it's not going about a character. Maybe it's going to be about Kinger or about Jax. And I think it's not going to be anymore about Cosmo and the Jack Black or something. Well, I think so, but I think not, because Jack Black and Cosmo, Jack Black is going to be Cosmo's voice, and I think he's going to be showing up on one of the games. Like when they're like playing a Candy World where you just have to throw the donuts on the stick like that. I remember that of a Zepeto, but maybe they're gonna do that and go on some other adventures like doing mini games. But the first mini game, what they did was in the circus.
Gather the gloinks!
And the second mini game, I think, is going to be something with candy. And maybe the third or fourth mini game can be somewhere in the
digital lake, or engage in ridery at the digital carnival.
Carnival or something. And in episode 1, when Kane was showing Pomni around, he said,
Cosmic buffet!
And that means there's going to be a buffet where you can eat. So we all saw the ending, like where they eat, where they get dinner from Bubble the chef. I think that's going to be the same with breakfast too, that there's going to be like a breakfast buffet. And that Bubble is going to cook everything again. So my thoughts is going to be that it's going to come somewhere on mid-May, on a Saturday, of course, because Glitch always posts their videos on a Saturday. And maybe they will be announcing something too. And you should check out Gooseworks Twitter at Gooseworks the YouTube for that too. And yeah, there's a huge hype for episode 2. But do you remember the first hype of episode 1? Like, when they didn't know what it was, they thought, who's that Jester girl on the SMG4 episode? Because if you got your eyes on the SMG4 episode where they had to do something with a circus to earn money for a new SMG4 castle, because when you see It's Gotta Be Perfect, if you saw that, the whole castle got ruined. So they were trying to earn money, but when SMG4 just did a magic trick, Pomni came on the screen. And I'll link the video in the comments so you can see it. And SMG4's channel is related with the Glitch channel, because SMG4's channel is Luke's channel, and the Glitch channel Luke owns with some other creators, and they just post their animations on there. And SMG4 just does his videos from Gmod, but I think the animators like from Digital Circus or Murder Drones does that on Blender or any other 3D animation app. And they just need to work hard, and they can't have that done in 4 months. It has to be done in 7 months. They thought, we have to do the half of that more to finish the episode, because when they finished the animation, they have to add the shading and the coloring, and then what they have to do is they have to add the voices and the sound effects, and that takes very long. Think of if you edit a video of like 10 minutes, like me, when I'm voicing over for 10 minutes. That would take very long. For the Digital Circus workers, it takes like 25 minutes, but you have to edit so much, because there are different scenes. They're different scenes. So, they said episode will come out when they're ready, so you gotta wait a little bit more. And episode 2 will not come out next year, May. Episode 2 will come out whenever they're ready, so people gotta be patient. Like, those rumors about Digital Circus are all wrong, because they said that it's gonna come out in February. I thought it was gonna come around Valentine's Day, but on Wednesday they don't post, only SMG4. But on that Saturday, they didn't post. So I thought this Saturday, tomorrow, for my time tomorrow. But guess what? They posted in Australian time, because Luke lives originally in Australia. And there it's already morning time, and they already edit that thing. So first what they were gonna do is check out how many views it got, and then they were thinking of an idea to animate a little teaser. And then after that teaser was done, they just took some screenshots, and maybe before that they were gonna edit on an episode 2 a little bit to things. And then they gotta be patient, because they gotta take a break too, because if you're too much on your computer, like playing Roblox, then you still have to touch some grass. You still gotta touch some grass and go outside, because staying all day inside is not healthy for you. They gotta eat, they gotta go to the toilet, they gotta brush their teeth, they gotta go to bed. They're not gonna stay up all day, and when they pee or when they need to drink, they can't. It's not like that, because that would be abusing. That would be only letting them animate. And sometimes they have to learn new skills too. So it would take a long time to get to episode 2. It would not be right away, like 4 months after. It would be 7 months after, because when I count, it's 7 months. So the Digital Circus episode will be released at May. I think it would be end May or around May the 14th, like when they uploaded the pilot episode. And the pilot episode is not episode 1. It's a pilot episode. And then the episode it's coming, they call episode 2, is actually the first episode of the whole series. So it's like a series as Murder Drones, or like any other series as Miraculous or Has Been Hotel, like that. That is series. That is a sort of the series. So they gonna release episode 1 of the series, so it means it's gonna have multiple seasons, just like anime. It's gonna have multiple seasons, maybe, and that will not say every year will come a new episode. Maybe another episode is gonna be shorter than another, and maybe there's gonna be a longer episode than another. We don't know. We don't even know about episode 2, about an episode that's going to come in the future, when the first real episode of the series came out. So we gotta stay tuned to Glitch and Gooseworks channel and Facebook. So Instagram, so Twitter, so we can see their things, like what they post. Maybe they post something about a new character. In that video that we just saw, we saw leaks of some characters that maybe you will see in the mini game. There will not be new characters, but I saw a blue mannequin. So maybe that they will be involved in a mini game. Maybe each of those characters will be involved in a mini game, and they're like your instructor. So Kane is like your instructor in the circus, but maybe another character will be your instructor for like in a mini game. And I think Kane is actually just a hologram. And the real Kane is actually sitting on a computer and working further on the game. And I think it's based around this year, sort of, because like you have Zubul cussing, Pomni cussing, and around like the 1990s, they didn't do that so often. I think it's around this year, and Pomni, where like she got to that really old computer. I think that's just where she worked, and that there just was old computers, that they were not new computers because the factory was like old, and that the others would just like have a computer at home or a TV where they would play it. Just think about a monkey tag, like on the thing, like on the oculars. That is sort of just like how Digital Circus is. Just like that. So, actually, it would be like that they're cells, and that they're just buy the game at a local Target or something, or like a local game store, that they buy the game there. Because in the 1990s, I think they wouldn't have super hyper realistic 3D games. I think they would only have 2D games and 3D games that looked a little bad. So I want to believe it was somewhere in the 1990s. And maybe the oculars were old, but it's just that the oculars were old because they had old oculars. They wouldn't have enough money to buy new oculars. And Kane wanted, I think, to make the game to get some money. And Kane is a holograph with Bubble and I think the other instructors of the mini games. They're all holographs. And the people that join, it's just like monkey tag. That sort of, that there's an instructor, and there will be all bots, and then like you have players that join. That's just like it. Every new player joins, and when they extract, they actually sort of leave the game. They leave, they go in a sort of void black thing. Void black hole. And the glowing queen is also a hologram. Maybe she's a character, but she's also a hologram. And what actually I think is gonna happen, I think Pomni is gonna go another time in an exit door, and that in the mini games there's gonna be exit doors too, and that the instructor of the mini game is letting them disappear. Is gonna be letting them disappear, just like Kane that's removing the doors. That there is exit doors, that someone is trying to get them to the exit. I think one of the extracted people, or like a Queenie, or like some other extracted people that trying to save them. So if Pomni would go in a second time to an exit door, she would just go right away and go to the computer and delete the software. But if she would ask other members to other Digital Circus people like Ragata or something where they actually live, if they knew their address, they would give them the address, and Pomni would delete the software, and she would come out of the game. Or she would be deleted when you delete that file. But if she would get back in real life, she would go to that address and delete that game from every Digital Circus member. And the abstracted ones she cannot do, because the abstracted people are like already extracted. They can't tell you anything. And the extracted people in the hole, they're kept like monsters in jail. Like, they can still move and that, but they're not knocked out. They can still move. So my plot theory is like that the episode will come out in May, and we'll have lots of mini games and a buffet with breakfast. And it's just like there come more exit doors, and maybe one of the members, maybe Jax or something, would realize that there is an exit door, or like Kinger, and would believe her. Or maybe Gangle or Zubul or something, and that Zubul would be kinder to Gangle, and Gangle in his room, that he has more comedy masks, and if he runs out of comedy masks, then he would maybe abstract. But I think Kane will be able to make another comedy mask for Gangle, and that it would just be like it has to be with some ribbon or something, that it has to be attached to him, or maybe he should have ears, so it could be attached to him. But that was it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. These are my theories. It's not real. Do not follow this seriously. This is not real. So if you want to copy this, you can copy this in your own video, but like the theories, but do not take this seriously. I didn't get this from Glitch or something, but I think they're going to do mini games because I saw another world. Maybe they're going to be visiting a world and doing mini games, as well as I saw something from a model in Blender. I saw something that they're creating a soccer field. So I think they're maybe going to do something with soccer too, and that the mannequins are going to be NPCs. And that they're going to play against mannequins. So like Digital Circus figures versus the mannequins. But this is all my theory. And I hope you enjoyed this video.